We are in a certain celebrity's hometown, Michelle Yeoh's, and this is Ipoh. Ipoh used to be a sleepy little mining town in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s. But right now, it has transformed to become a tourist destination for the locals and outstation people alike. More and more over the years, my aunt who lives in Ipoh will exclaim, "Wow, now Ipoh so jammed! Wow, Ipoh now packed with tourists and all the outstation people." And today, in this video, we're here to explore Ipoh and all she has to offer, this not-so-little sleepy town.
Hi everyone, we're Fred and John, the corporate breakout couple. We retired young in 2020 at the age of 40 in Singapore. In 2022, we shifted over to Penang and have been in Malaysia for the last 1 year. We are really enjoying our time here and enjoy sharing our early retirement journey with you. Please like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We really appreciate the love. Ipoh is located in the state of Perak, which is towards the west side of Peninsular Malaysia. It is geographically well placed, which you can go to KL, the capital, within 2 hours drive, and towards the north, you can go towards Penang, which is also around 2 hours drive. Ipoh is located in a valley, so sometimes it can be very cooling, but at the same time, it can rain pretty often. You can get there from other parts of Malaysia by car, by bike, by bus, by train, and even fly via a domestic airport. We are now in Ipoh Old Town. Somebody wants to say hi. Hello. So we brought our dog along and we are strolling along the Concubine Lane in Old Town, and it's a very touristy area with lots of craft shops, a lot of different food joints, places selling local coffee, which is awesome by the way. The coffee from Ipoh is robust and aromatic.
If you want a high-flying corporate career, becoming a CEO in an MNC, then Ipoh's not a town for you. You'll be better off in KL or in Penang. However, if you are looking to be a small-time business owner, say for example a cafe or a boutique store, then Ipoh is definitely the place for you, as Ipoh is filled with little cafes, excellent food, a lot of fine dining as well, and it is really a very communal town. And like my cousin put it, it's a very gracious town. Ipoh has tons of good food, and the Ipohrians, as how they call themselves, they don't mind paying for good food, and honestly, the restaurant food, the Chinese, the Western, they're really of high quality.
In today's video, we would like to share with you what living in Ipoh is like. And we endeavor to provide you the real cost on the ground so that you can have a better understanding of what the cost in Ipoh is like as well. And we will cover the cost of the basic needs to live here in Ipoh, from your food to groceries, transport, accommodation, healthcare, and others. And at the end, we will compile all the numbers for you into a budget for you to have a macro perspective to appreciate the numbers better. Are you ready? Let's go!
Ipoh's food culture is driven by the majority of Chinese population who are largely Cantonese and Hakka descent. Whenever John and I are in Ipoh, we love to go around Ipoh to eat all our favorite foods, such as Ipoh Hor Fun, the fat delicious tauge, and much more. There's also very excellent Malay cuisine and Indian cuisine like banana leaf and nasi kandar. In Ipoh, they call it nasi ganja because it's very addictive. And the best muruku I've ever had in Malaysia is from Ipoh. We are at Takis, and Takis has been around for more than 50 years. What we're having now, this is baby octopus with the delicious sauce. It is so yummy. The octopus is so tender and soft and tasty. And when you come to Ipoh, you cannot miss the Ipoh tauge. It's big and crunchy and so juicy. And look, their signature dish, the moonlight hor fun, is here. It is so yummy, full of wok hei, and they also crack a raw egg on top. I know, it looks so good.
When you're at Ipoh, you have to eat that dim sum. They have a huge selection and it's top-notch because there are a lot of Cantonese here in Ipoh, and it's their daily staple. An sumptuous dim sum breakfast for two works out to be 72 ringgit.
We're now at Little Allegra, a little cafe, bakery in the heart of Ipoh, and the food here is excellent. The owner, Julie, only uses top-notch ingredients to make all her pastries and baked goods, and the menu changes almost on a daily basis. By the way, they only open from Fridays to Mondays. and you must not miss this bakery whenever you're in Ipoh. Julie, by the way, brought fine dining to the map of Ipoh because she started her first fine dining restaurant called Indulgence many years ago, and it was a big hit. And in almost every Malaysian shopping mall, you've got your usual suspects or supermarkets. In Ipoh Parade, it is Jaya Grocer. Well, I personally love Jaya Grocer as I find their produce are always very fresh and always up to date.
In Ipoh, it's really easy to do grocery shopping. For example, at your local wet market, you can find fresh produce that's unique to Ipoh, your bean sprouts, which are fat, succulent, and juicy. Or your supermarkets in the shopping mall, you can find an array of different types of food ingredients, whether it's from your Western to Asian ingredients, you can find them all. Price-wise, it's really similar everywhere in Malaysia. Malaysia is really homogeneous, so whether you're in KL, Ipoh, Penang, Malacca, JB, you'll find similar type of pricing for the food ingredients or the different groceries in general. However, if you're looking at very specialized local produce like bean sprouts in Ipoh, like Kedah, they grow their own rice, you might find better produce, better quality at a lower price. If you like more in-depth pricing, you can check out our cost of living videos in Penang, part 1 and part 2. We will show you a whole array of different grocery pricing in the supermarkets.
Welcome to Ipoh Parade, one of the largest shopping malls in Ipoh. There are also 1 or 2 more malls in Ipoh, and Ipoh, is a smaller population, so 3 malls is more than enough to accommodate everybody. And guess what? They've got great deals. This is so much cheaper than in Penang. So actually Ipoh is a great place to get really great stuff at a discounted price. However, of course, if you want to get more branded stuff, more international brands, then please head to KL.
It's really easy to drive around Ipoh. Today the driving duty is by Fran.
Hi.
Yeah, because usually I will drive and I love driving here in Ipoh. The roads are wide and the drivers are very friendly. So you have a lot of space, people are very laid back, you don't feel rushed when you drive around from point A to point B. The only time there's a little bit of congestion is during school drop-off or pick-up hours, where outside the school will be pretty chaotic, or the Ipoh town area where there are a lot of tourists and you can hardly find parking there, and if you do find one, you are really lucky. Whether you intend to live here, retire here, or to visit Ipoh, it's highly recommended that you get your own private transport, whether it's a car or a private hire vehicle, instead of using the public transport, as it will be more efficient for you to move around. If you're a foreigner to Malaysia, for example, for me, I'm a Singaporean, you can actually buy cars in Malaysia, or bikes. You can buy local cars, you can buy second-hand cars, or first-hand cars. And in Malaysia, because of such a huge demand for cars and bikes, there's a lot of options for you to choose from. And if you own a Malaysian registered car or bike, you get to enjoy the very affordable local petrol prices here in the country. Let's talk about accommodation. Where do you think the Ipoh locals stay? In condominiums like this? Certainly not. Do you know that a lot of Ipoh locals actually stay in landed housing? That's because Ipoh is huge. They have a land size of around 643 kilometers square, and the population size is around 800 over 1,000 people. So you can guess that because of such a huge land size, there's actually a lot of space for them to build landed properties. And for the tourists, they will stay in condos like this Airbnb that we are staying. And usually the condominiums are developed near the Ipoh Old Town, the touristy area for them. The Ipoh locals stay in residential areas such as Canning Garden, where it's an estate more mature for pensioners. Ipoh Garden East, now very popular with youngsters. Bandar Baru Tambun, and Bercham, which is more north, which they are more Chinese. For the youngsters, they will flock to newer development areas such as Meru and Jelapang, and areas like Sunway, because these areas are more affordable for them compared to a mature estate. And from the information we gather on the ground, some of the younger generation like to buy properties from more mature estates such as Ipoh Garden East for around 300,000 ringgit, and then they'll invest a little bit of money to go and do it up and have a great location for their property. Hey, would you like to retire at a place like this, surrounded by luscious greenery and hills? Well, you can. If you look around me to my left, we have a condominium that has around 2 or 3 bedroom apartments for you to rent. Guess how much? It's around 2,000 ringgit and up. If you like somewhere bigger, you can rent a 3-story house, a townhouse that will cost around 4,000 to 5,000 ringgit and up. Isn't that fantastic? At a golf club like this.
Let's look at some property listing of Property Guru Malaysia. This area, Bercham, which is towards the northeastern side of Ipoh, which is slightly off-center, a very quaint area. You have landed houses, terrace houses, freehold. There's looking around $250,000 for a slightly older one. You're looking towards 300,000 for newer ones. And you can get pretty good landed houses for pretty good prices in this area. What about condos and apartments in the Bercham area? As mentioned earlier, it's slightly off-center, so it's not considered a tourist spot, it's more for locals. And for condos, it's not as popular. You can see from the listing, not that many. These are slightly older condos, going for about 300,000 and up. They're not bad, quite big, 100 over square feet, which are quite decent size for condos. But you can see there are no real new developments in this area. Here's a great location at Ipoh Garden East, very central, very near the town. You're seeing listings at around 300,000 for 1,005 square feet for example, this one, a one-story terrace house. You also have two-story terrace houses like this one, which you can redo, you can renovate to make it much bigger and taller. If you're looking at buying condos at Ipoh Garden, a fantastic location, you have a mixture of old and new developments. The older developments are naturally bigger, about 1,000 plus square feet. The newer ones are smaller, ranging from 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, around 800 square feet. Like this one, 700 square feet is leasehold, but it's newer with full facilities. Let's look at rental for landed housing in Ipoh, and you have a variety of options. Like for example, this one for 2,000 ringgit per month, you're looking at a townhouse, 3 bedroom, 4 baths, completed 2016 and fully furnished at Tambun. Tambun is a great location towards the east of Ipoh. And you have other areas like this one, a terrace house, 1,650 square feet and also fully furnished. So you have many options you can see in different areas of Ipoh for you to choose from for landed housing. If you want to rent a condominium at a super prime location like Ipoh Garden, you can. There are plenty of options. Condominiums fully furnished, slightly older, but for 2,000 ringgit a month, you can get very big sizes like this one, 1,003 square feet, 1,006 square feet, 1,001, 1,006, 1,007, almost 1,008 square feet, fully furnished.
If you have thoughts about retiring in Ipoh, you have fantastic healthcare facilities here to serve you. Like this one, Hospital Fatima, which friends aunt goes to, along with many other world-class hospitals like Pantai Hospital, your Raja Permaisuri, Baidun Hospital, and many more. There are plenty of private hospitals, general practitioner clinics, and dental clinics for both locals and foreigners who want to retire in Ipoh to choose from. And you will expect the cost of the private healthcare fees here in Ipoh to be cheaper than Penang or KL, which are both 2 hours drive away, and definitely a lot cheaper than Singapore.
Let's look at some numbers. For today's budget, we're going to build based on a foreigner who intends to retire in Ipoh. If you've been following us for a while, you know that we built many budgets, whether it's the cost of living from the eyes of a local, or the cost of a retiring, whether it's in Singapore, Bali, or different parts of Malaysia like KL and Penang. In today's video, we're going to draw some references from our cost of retiring in Penang, which because Malaysia is homogeneous and Ipoh is very near to Penang, so there are a lot of similar costs. So today's budget is actually a high-level snapshot. If you really want to look at the details, you can refer to a cost of retirement in Penang video. Here are the assumptions. I'm catering for one half of a retired couple, meaning for one person, and this couple stays in a 2-bedroom apartment in Ipoh Garden, a fantastic location, and they will purchase a second-hand car, and that will be their main mode of transport. And this budget is only covering for basic needs for one person, meaning no wants at all. So starting with food, you're looking at 50% dine out and 50% cooking in, because this couple has time so they can afford to cook in. And the budget, which is pretty generous in Malaysian standard, is 1,100 ringgit. For household items, around 100 ringgit for all your household equipment, some personal items like your own shower gel, shampoo and all that. For transport, so they will pay their own second-hand car. Note that the cost of the car is not catered here, but this 550 ringgit is catered for the running monthly costs. For accommodation, they will rent a condo. It's not very expensive to rent a condo. I'm catering around 2,500 for the rental. And then if you divide by 2 and add in some of the other miscellaneous like your utilities and all that, this will come out to 1,440 ringgit per month. For healthcare, it's about 100 a month. So note that the total healthcare budget is 1,200 per year, so divided by 12 is 100. That's adequate for you to go to your normal GP or your dental consultation twice a year, and some additional amount, 200 ringgit, just for some other items. Now, this will bring the total of 3,490 ringgit per month, which is 748 USD based on prevailing exchange rate. And these are the items not covered, the price of the vehicle, which frankly, the cost of buying a second-hand or first-hand vehicle even is not that expensive. Medical insurance in a home country is not covered. That will be your own cost. And also excluding all the travel back to your home countries or other countries for leisure, all Malaysia interstate travels and all your wants, these are all not catered within this budget. All in all, if you run a comparison between, say, KL and Penang, Ipoh will be the lowest cost among the three, because the cost of living is actually the highest in KL, and then followed by Penang, and followed by Ipoh. If you compare this Ipoh budget with the budget that I've laid out for you in the Penang video, it's slightly lower. It's not going to differ by a lot, because there are a lot of things that is very similar in terms of like transport costs, household items and all that. These are all pretty standardized, or even healthcare. But the key difference is actually in the accommodation and the food, and that will be the differentiator between these few states when you consider for retirement.
Ipohrians are really a loyal bunch, and they really love their little community in Ipoh, and they love it when they can support their same old businesses that have been operating for years and years. If you're thinking about retiring in Malaysia, hey, Ipoh might just be the little town that you needed. Quiet, tranquil, it's a slower pace of life compared to Penang or KL, but it still has a great food, a great vibe, and a fantastic local community. We hope that you've enjoyed our Ipoh video. We certainly enjoyed our trip to Ipoh, meeting friends and relatives, and enjoying the fantastic food, and with our dog as well. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And yes, we'll see you real soon.